Yeah, what's your very first memory of when you were a kid? What's the first thing you remember?
When I was like, I want to say 3, and my mom and I were going out to Washington State, and we were on the train, and it was full of soldiers because the Korean War was going on. And I remember all the soldiers.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back today and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a good week. I had another kind of strange week, but not as bad as last week, so it's kind of nice to have a few challenges in life to keep you awake. But I wanted to start out this video today with that amazing comment from the woman who was sharing her experience with her grandmother and how her grandmother helped her speak, gave her the power to kind of shake up her life and be successful. And that meant so much to me when I read it, and I was crying. And
when you were telling this story about your grandpa, I remembered my Grandma Barnes, who was my mother's mom. She was very close to me when I was young, and I didn't know for a long time that I spoke like a small child, and it was because my dad baby talked me all the time. She used to sit with me at night and tell me a story, and she would help me say words properly. It was really a difficult time, and it was so hard for me to understand why my younger cousins made fun of me. And it was just heartbreaking, but there was my grandma coming to my defense, and she'd hold me and tell me everything will be all right. Don't you worry about it. She was a true Southern woman and always gave me the proper understanding and love that I truly needed in my life.
when we are aging, we can feel very isolated. And one of the most powerful tools that I feel I have is the power to put a smile on someone's face, to be kind. And, you know, when they ask people who are really depressed, what's the number one thing you're depressed about? And they say, I don't feel seen. I don't feel people appreciate me. And in knowing that, when I go out my front door and I'm with family or friends or strangers, I think about that. People are sad because they don't feel appreciated or seen. And as we get older, that becomes more exaggerated and more hurtful to our health. So, you know, social media gets a bad rap, but I don't know how many times that I have done a video on a certain subject And there are comments that I can't get to. And there was one that I'll never forget. And the woman was at the end of her rope. She said, I feel destroyed. I just lost my husband. And I can't imagine my life without him. I feel like I can't breathe. And I didn't see her comment. I didn't answer her. But you did. 14 of you did. You left a comment. And they were the sweetest, kindest, most loving comments I've ever read. You did that, and you might have saved a life. Or someone next year that will read what you wrote, you could save a life. And that to me, yeah, okay, it's just social media, it's just Facebook, it's just YouTube, it's just whatever. There's always a new platform that I don't understand. I guess my point is, one sentence can change a life. So the next time maybe you see someone in distress, maybe take, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. The world needs you. I know what you're feeling, or I think I know what you're feeling. And I got through it. It was tough, but I got through it, and you will too. When we see that checkout girl, and you can tell her eyes are bloodshot and she feels so bad, and the person ahead of you just bitched her out for ringing up the wrong price. And she looks at you almost in fear, and you say, hey, it's going to be okay. How you doing? What time do you get off? I bet you can't wait.
Yeah, it's a beautiful morning. Desi won't get out of bed, but that's normal. Desi doesn't really think his day starts until 11 a.m. That's when Zoe goes out. Typical man.
I'm not sure why I bring this up so much, but I do believe it's true that as we get older, we really do see through situations, and we see through people in a loving way, but we can look at their actions and we can hear what they're saying, and we kind of take our cues of knowing what that person is really like. And I bring this up under the context of self-love and how we're supposed to love ourselves and be kind to ourselves. And the only concrete thing I've ever heard about that is like, don't call yourself fat. Okay, I got that, but is that self-love? So I'm watching one of those shopping networks, and one of the oldest hosts that they have on there, she's always saying things like, well, you know me, I've never had a decent haircut, or you know me, I like my cookies, that's why my hips are so big. You know me, I never stop talking. And I take that in, and I realize this is a person who perhaps isn't so nice to themselves. So I have taken the cue from that to, if I'm trying to be kind to myself, I want to make sure I'm not always starting a sentence with, you know me. I'm an idiot most of the time. You know me. And I catch myself doing it. Do you catch yourself doing that? You know me. You know I can't cook. Very severe arthritis runs in my family. And the last few months I've had all these symptoms of my arthritis getting worse. And for some reason, I thought, well, I've been healthy all my life. I can't be sick. This must be some thing that has ascended upon me. And so I would always refer to what was going on in my life as symptoms. Finally, when I got my potassium up, I kind of looked in the mirror and just said, what I'm going through are not a series of symptoms. This is a condition. I have pretty severe arthritis, but I'm not going to quit. And I'm not going to give up my lifestyle. But this is my new normal. My new normal has changed. And I took a lot of the pressure off, of the constant researching and maybe this medication or calling my doctor every other day. Like, stop. It was like, I I think that was a time where I maybe was the cruelest to myself. Did I really think I was going to get through my 70s without an issue? And once I just gave myself permission to, hey, you know what? This is your new normal. And you're going to be okay. And you're not only going to survive, you're going to thrive. And there's a whole lot of other people that have bad arthritis too. Woe is me. Anyway, I somehow relieved a pressure valve within myself. And that made all the difference.
Do you like folk art? I love folk art on folk art. It makes me happy, it makes me smile. And I love cows.
They won't like stampede us, will they?
There's a fence.
There is? Oh.
Are you going to be in the parade next week? Is that your new hat? Ooh, you like your new hat? Nope.
And sometimes, you want to make yourself into a better person. And the happier you are with yourself, the better you are going to be for other people. So sometimes I watch these self-help gurus on YouTube, and I don't read the books. I don't know why, but I don't have time, I guess. So I watch their videos, and there's one gal I really like. I won't mention who she is. Sometimes I tease her lovingly, but she always cracks me up because she always seems like a little depressed, but she's helping other people not be depressed. And she always has advice for, how to really give it to the people in your life that are, treating you like a doormat, like 10 reasons why somebody doesn't respect you and 5 reasons why this person secretly thinks you're a piece of crap. I don't know. It's like what she's preaching to is this whole society that feels that the core of their unhappiness is how other people are treating them. And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't have any people in my life that are horrible. I don't have any people in my life that I allow to treat me badly. Do you have people like that in your life? I hope I'm not seeming like an ass here by asking that, because I certainly have had horrible people in my life that were very destructive, and it felt so good to finally say, get out, and don't come back, lose my number. And that was so wonderful and so liberating, but it was like a one-shot deal. Now, when you're younger, that might be a little bit harder, but at our age, come on. So I think it's very important that kindness only goes so far, and that to truly be kind to ourselves, that means we have to make some hard choices. People that are toxic or make us feel bad about ourselves, those aren't friends, those aren't loved ones. Those are people that perhaps need to be lovingly avoided.
It's a March morning and there's snow on the ground. Not too bad.
When I was in the hospital with my potassium crisis, and I was so scared, and I was alone, and I wasn't going to wake up my family. So I was there alone, and in the same room with me was a woman who was 76 years old, and she was in a lot of pain. She was so beautiful. I told her she was beautiful, and she said her mother was actually a model in Europe in the 50s. And I thought, well, yeah, I mean, she had crow's feet, she had some wrinkles, but her bone structure and her skin and her smile, it was just so gorgeous. And she had this lavender sweater on. I thought, I have got to do more lavender, but I digress. She's telling me how life is hard because she has a back brace and osteoporosis has her bent over, so it's very difficult for her to walk. She was there with her husband, who was the kindest man in the world. And she, instead of talking to me about her pain or her fear or her frustration, she said, the funniest thing happened to me a few weeks ago. We live on a hill. We built a house on a hill, and it's a very, very long driveway to get up the hill to the house. And I was driving it, and in Michigan, we've had nothing but cold and ice. And she said she was driving her car, and she almost made it to the house when she started to slide back on the ice. And the car swerved to the left and ended up in a little tree by her driveway. Well, she made the mistake of actually getting out of her car, and she sort of braced herself, walked around, and fell. And she slid on the ice from the top of her driveway all the way down to the street below. And I am horrified, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's terrible. She probably broke, this is just dreadful. And she started laughing, and she said, that was one of the best times I've had in the last 20 years. It was like I was flying. It was like I didn't need my brace. I didn't need anything. I was just flying down the hill, and I loved it. And I thought, 76 years old in a back brace, and sometimes you've taught me that God sends us angels. I never heard of that before until you told me that. But now I'm sure of it. I truly am sure of it. And the sliding lady, that sweet, wonderful lady, we're going to have lunch at the donut shop next week. And I want to hear more about her life. I don't usually buy clothes at the thrift store anymore, but this jacket, it's from the loft. It's never been worn, and it's just so cool. I just think, I don't know, there's something about a very tailored, oversized blazer, with some black trousers and a nice belt, maybe a crisp white shirt. I don't know. I just think it's so hot. I just love it. And the other thing I got is this little black and white polka dot jacket. And I remember seeing someone at breakfast at Tiffany's had the same little white jacket. I thought it was so cool. Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I just loved it. And if you get a chance down below, could you share something that maybe somebody in your life maybe just showed you some kindness and it just changed everything for you? Did that ever happen to you? Please have yourself a happy, safe, brand new week. And when you're done with your week, you know the drill. You come back and see me and Desi, okay? All right, it's a deal. I'll be here.
Desi, when Irish eyes are smiling, the whole world smiles with you. So I lit a fire, isn't it good? Norwegian